Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Troy-Maryville Chamber of Commerce Virtual Job Fair. Today, we will be hearing from 7 employers hiring for various positions across multiple industries. Each employer will speak for 10 minutes to give you some information about their company and will highlight the job openings they currently have. If you have questions at any time, please type them into the chat and we will address them during the Q&A session that will be taking place after all employers have presented. Today's session is being recorded and will be made available in the employer booths for you to refer to later. Now, I am pleased to introduce Dawn with the Troy-Maryville Chamber of Commerce. Dawn?
Hi, everyone. Welcome this morning. We're so excited for our second virtual job fair. My sincere thanks to Daniel and David. I don't think anybody has any idea how much it takes to coordinate this level of amount of employers, and but we're going to record it today, and we're going to get some great people for you to hire or to interview. We're going to take each of the interviews, and my intern will break them down individually. We will share them on our website and on social media. And we did that last time and had a lot of great feedback. So thank you so much to everyone for attending today. And I will be here for Q&A as well at the end.
Thank you so much, Dawn. First up, we have Nate Smith with Express Employment. Nate, are you available to present?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You can begin whenever you're ready.
All right. Good morning, everyone. As he said, my name is Nate Smith. I'm from Express Employment Professionals. We have 2 offices in the St. Louis Metro East area. We have one in Glen Carbon, the Edwardsville office, which works exclusively with companies throughout Madison County. And we also have an office in Fairview Heights, Illinois, that works exclusively with clients in St. Clair County. Our Edwardsville office opened up back in 2006, and we grew so much that by 2014, we had to open a second office in Fairview to be able to help that county as well. If you could go to slide 2, please. The owners of Express, they are locally owned. It's a husband and wife team. They're actually from both Madison and St. Clair County. They've both lived in these counties their entire life. They currently reside in Madison County. And the majority of the folks, including myself, that work for Express internally, we all come from this area. So we are very vested in the community, in the companies, and most importantly, in people, and getting folks to where they need to be to help them get jobs and help companies fulfill the needs they have. We offer several different types of positions. We have contract work or temporary work. We have evaluation hire. We have direct hire. We do full-time. We do part-time. The majority of the work that we have, most of it, I'd say about 80 to 85% is evaluation hire. What that means is that an individual will go and work for a company, but their pay and their benefits are coming to them from us. Once those individuals accumulate a certain hour mark, and if we are talking industrial work, then we are looking at 520 hours. If we are talking more administrative or clerical office work, we are talking 720 hours. But once you hit those hour marks, you're then eligible to be hired on by the clients. And in most cases, I mean, our clients do want to hire on our individuals. We've been doing this for well over 14 years now. And in 9 out of 10 cases, that's the end game, is to get the individual hired onto the company. Once an individual is hired onto a company, then their payroll, their benefits, everything transfers over to the company for what their policies and what their procedures are. Direct hire, to give an idea of that makes up about maybe 5 to 10% of what we do. And what that is kind of what it sounds like. It's where companies use us more as a headhunter. It's typically reserved for more management type roles or specific skilled trade roles. With that avenue, the initial interview and screening process obviously comes through us. The individual then goes to the client and typically has an interview with the client. If everything goes well there and it feels like a match for the client as well as the job seeker, then that person has made an offer and they are hired directly in to that client, no different than if they were to go and apply directly themselves. Occasionally we have contract work. Usually that's either for seasonal types of projects or if we're covering for anybody that's out for an extended period of time. Those things do kind of pop up here and there throughout the year. So that's typically what kind of falls under our contract work. With all of our positions, we do offer a set of benefits. That is something that we go into further detail in the office, but to give you an idea, we have health, dental, vision, life insurance, and short-term disability. And it's kind of set up in an a la carte system, so you can kind of pick what works best for you. Obviously, in that evaluation hire setting, once you cross over to the client, you then lose our benefits and you're subject to that client's benefits. And then obviously in a direct hire opportunity, it's solely what the client is offering. On the screen there, you can kind of see towards the bottom, I've got phone numbers for each of our offices. Edwardsville is the 8011 number and Fairview Heights is the 2140 number. Also below there are our email addresses and our websites. Keep in mind, if you do email either of the offices, that will go to every person in that office. I happen to work for both offices, so I get all the emails. And the websites, which I'll cover in a little bit later, we have job postings and things on there. If we could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Currently, we do have over 100 positions available in Madison and St. Clair County, especially now as we're ramping back, getting through winter. I want to go over a few of those. You can see all of these in greater detail on the websites below that are on your screen. Also, we do have an app called Express Jobs, and you can download that through the Apple Store or through Google Play. And when you use that, that can also pull up positions and things. If you do use the app, I do ask that you be mindful when you're looking at positions of the location. The reason I say that is because there are over 800 express offices throughout the United States, Canada, South Africa, and coming soon, New Zealand and Australia. So it kind of bounces off your GPS. So if you make your radius too far out, you will potentially get positions from other offices, which is fine. You just have to keep in mind that every single office is territorial. So we only work within a certain geographic space. So it'll obviously be anything you see that's within Madison or St. Clair County. We do have a couple clients that are kind of on the border in Jerseyville and in Bond County. But most of the stuff is going to be located in Madison or St. Clair County with details. To talk a little bit about some of the positions I have available right now, I have a client out of Edwardsville who is looking for anywhere from about 40 to 50 case pickers and deep reach operators. So if there's anyone out there listening that has deep reach operating abilities or knows someone that does, we are looking for a lot of folks for that. We have all 3 shifts available: day shift, afternoon shift, overnight shift. And the pay rate kind of is in between, anywhere between $15.50 to $18.50 based on your experience and then also based on your shift. There's obviously a shift differential for each shift that goes later into the day. I've got several different clients, both located in northern parts of Madison County, southern parts of Madison County, and the middle and eastern part of St. Clair County that are looking for different production workers. These could be anything from being on assembly lines, making things, boxing things up, packaging things. And depending on the clients and depending on the specific position, those pay rates can range anywhere from about $12 to $15. Some buildings are climate controlled. Some Some of the companies also offer paid lunches. Each client is a little different. Again, I can go into more detail when I'm talking to someone either face-to-face or individually. But to give you kind of an idea, on the industrial side, that is some of the things that we are looking for at the moment, as well as some machine operators. We have a couple different clients looking for machine operators, as well as some inventory clerks and some line leads. On the administrative side, we are looking for several payroll clerks for both northern and southern Madison County, some paralegals, as well as some folks with QuickBooks experience. On the Madison County side, we're looking for folks that have used QuickBooks, just the regular program. On the St. Clair County side, we are actually looking for folks that specifically have experience with the online version of QuickBooks, which I'm told is drastically different than, I guess, the standard program. So if there is anyone out there that has the online QuickBooks, we are looking for a master in that. Also in St. Clair County, we have a slew of clients that are also looking for different production workers, assemblers, also some machine operators down in Columbia, some grinders and people with foundry and metal experience. And some of these other positions, as we're getting out of the production worker and moving up into more defined, we're talking about pay rates that are ranging from $17 an hour to $20, and possibly even higher than that, depending on what we're talking about. There's other positions where even if I don't have an immediate need, I have the client base to get that person into a place. Things we're always looking for. We're always looking for CDLA drivers. If there's anyone out there who likes driving over the road but wants to be home every day, all of our routes are within kind of the bi-state area. So folks are at home every single day. We're always looking for great HVAC technicians, and as well as welders, TIG welders, aluminum welding, and all of those positions. Again, the pay rates can fluctuate depending on experience and client, but you are looking anywhere on those from your super high teens to your mid to late 20s there, as far as your hourly pay rate for those. If we could go to the next slide, please. The way you can reach out to apply to us, if you or anyone that you know is looking for work, there's a few different ways. You can go directly to expresspros.com. You can create an account. Once you create that, then you can then submit an application. And then when you get to the end of that process, it will ask you what offices to click on. Please make sure you click on Edwardsville or Fairview Heights. Obviously, if you click on a different office, that's going to go to other offices. I'm not going to be able to see that. That's one method. Another method, if you have that jobs app, there is an application process through that. Also, if you already have a resume ready to rock and roll, you can email us directly. Right in the middle of your screen, you'll see our two office email addresses. If you send that in with your resume and kind of what you're looking for, I go through those and then I assign those out to our different staffing consultants, depending on whether they're working on industrial or administrative or who their client base is. And then they will reach out, contact you. And our first step is typically we conduct a phone interview with an individual first. After learning about their skill sets, learning about what they're looking for, if we've talked to them about positions and things they're interested in, then the next step after that is the paperwork phase and bringing you into the office. But our initial phase is we like to do a lot through the phone interview, and we have a lot of documentation after that we can even email. So we try to make the process as seamless and easy for everyone as possible. But if you send it in to us, we will reach out to you within 24 hours or less, whether it's myself or someone from my team. If you are sending in a resume, I do ask if you could send it in PDF format or Microsoft Word format only. Any other file types we have issues reading, as well as we don't accept anything from Google Docs or any type of link that would want us to attach to. So if that really could be in a Microsoft Word, a PDF, or even if the individual pasted into the body of the email, it does have to be in one of those few formats, please. If you could go to the next slide, please.
I will do so. And Nate, just to let you know, we'll have to wrap up your
Yep, I was
presentation.
wrapping up. I know, I'm sorry, I'm a little over time.
No worries.
I just want to mention that is my contact information there. That's my email address. I'm physically in the Edwardsville office, but like I said, I'm working for both. Thank you so much for your time, and willing to help anybody out there that's looking for work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nate, for that presentation. And I do just want to remind all the folks on the call, if you do have any questions for Nate or any of the other presenters that we have here today, please feel free to enter those questions into the chat and we'll get those answered for you during the Q&A session that will follow all of the employer presentations. Next up, we have JP Newcomer with Mosquito Joe. Are you available to present, sir?
I am, sir. I'm ready.
Fantastic. You can begin whenever you're ready.
Good morning, everyone. My name is JP Newcomer. I'm also known as Joe Jetson. We like to keep it fun around here. So any employees that come on board, we actually find a unique Joe name for them based on their persona. We are actually part of a larger company called Neighborly. We live our code of values by showing respect for all people, acting with integrity in all dealings, and serving customers with enthusiasm. And last and most importantly, we like to have fun in the process. Next slide. So who are we? There's actually a link here. I don't know if you can show the video or not on the who are we? Like a 1-minute video.
I won't be able to do so
Okay,
today. So.
That's fine. We can skip past that. So we have been in business since 2016. As you can see from the infographic on the right side, Mosquito Joe is actually a franchise, and they've been selling franchises for 8 years now. This is last year's data, so it's a little bit old, but we have 340 territories open. We have operated in 38 different states. We have over 150 franchisees. For us, we service the entire Metro East. We have actually 2 territories that consume the Metro East. So we serve pretty much everything east of the river. We provide outdoor pest control treatments to residential and commercial customers. Our trained mosquito control experts are dedicated to one thing. They want to get rid of mosquitoes so customers and everyone can enjoy outside again. You know, we also provide pest control for other outdoor insects like ticks, fleas, stinging insects, perimeter pests like beetles, spiders, ants, those types of things that are very annoying. You know, we are a franchise, but we have a mom and pop feel. So next slide. Our vision is to be the leading pest control company in Metro East. We want to treat each customer individually, and empower a team that desires to contribute and enjoy the success of their role here at Mosquito Joe. Next slide. We want to make outside fun again by exhibiting the highest customer service and quality of work by making our community safer through reduced risk of mosquito and tick-borne illnesses and diseases. This is really key for us. You know, a lot of people talk about the trucks going down the road. Some people have their homemade solutions, but our products have a residual effect, and our ultimate objective here is to try to reduce the risk, because mosquitoes and ticks carry a lot of diseases. Next slide. How are we different than competitors and so forth? We have, we strive on quality of service. We use some of the best products that the insects won't build up an immunity to. We don't have any contracts. That's usually a big deal. We have a satisfaction guarantee. It's really called our done right promise. We are efficient and responsive in our schedule. We try to get customers on within 24 to 48 hours onto our schedule. With very personalized customer service. So anything unique, we try to find out what it is the customer wants, and we make sure that we go the extra mile for them. As you can tell, probably through some of these slides, we have a very distinctive Mosquito Joe brand. We also are very sensitive to pollinators, and we do follow the pesticide environmental stewardship program that we're a member of. And that is something that continues to expand and tries to make us more compliant. We continue to strive to find new pesticides that are more environmentally friendly as well. Next slide. So some of our history, we did start out in 2016. We acquired our second territory in the second year. Along with another vehicle, we hired an office manager and a few more employees. We've been teamed over 600 customers 450 customers in our third year, and 600 in our fourth year. So as you can see, we continue to grow. Fifth year, which we just finished, is 800 customers now, and we service customers about every 3 weeks. So it's a subscription service. We've added some benefits for our employees. We have many incentives that we like to offer to keep our employees retained. And we have a goal of reaching over 1,000 customers and to continue to expand on some of those benefits. Next slide. So what we're looking for right now is a customer service representative, actually 2 of those part-time. The first one would work from 7 to 12, and the other one would work from 2 to 7. Those numbers can vary depending on availability of other employees, but we're looking at roughly 25 hours a week at $13.50 per hour. So if you're a morning person, the 7 to 12 might work for you. If you're an afternoon person or evening person, the afternoon might work better for you. We're also looking for pest treatment specialists that are part-time. We are looking to fill 3 positions. Those are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Normally, those people are done by 3 to 4, but we do try to get here around 6:30 and get out the door by 7 and kind of get on the road and finish our day early. That normally will be 25 to 30 hours a week. Could be more. We've known in the past there's been some turnover, and as a turnover happens, that benefits other employees who want to get more hours. The pay range is $13.50 per hour. It's based on an hourly rate plus a commission that we have. And then we offer a $200 bonus once someone comes on board and successfully completes the exam that's needed to gain the license to the Illinois Department of Agriculture. Next slide. So just kind of a quick look on what it would look like if you came on board. So day one, depending on what role you would be in, you'd get familiarization on the different policies. You would go through a very rigorous training. You get evaluations periodically to let you know where you are and steps to improve maybe where you are, or simply some other things, fun things we do. We set goals. So for office operations, maybe we have sales goals. And as we meet those sales goals, then we reward people for meeting those goals. And then by day 60, you've kind of finished your probationary period and you're kind of a full-fledged member at that point. And our services do run from April to October. That's our primary time of business. So it is a seasonal business. As you can see on the bottom, we have some benefits. We have sick leave, we have PTO, we introduced a 401k plan. Last year, when you start the first year, it's no match, but in successive years, there actually is a match from ownership on that. We have some of the other benefits we have is online training courses and also reading list incentives. So we have books that will improve who you are as a person and also as an employee. And we incentivize for reading those books and providing a small one-page report on those. And of course, we have performance-based incentives as well based upon how well you do. Next slide. So what to expect, as I mentioned, operations begin in April, run through October. If you're in the office, it's sales, it's customer service, it's system training and providing feedback on that. We do offer ride-alongs for both field and office employees. So if you're in the office and you want to know what the field guys do, we offer that. And we do offer an opportunity for our field guys to sit in the office and appreciate what the office goes through as we answer calls all day. We have a very comprehensive field training. We continue to improve upon that every year, so you'll know exactly what you need to do and familiarity on how to do it. There's upward mobility opportunities in each area, both field and office, and there's opportunities to shadow office employees, as I mentioned. We are safe here. We do the COVID-19 daily health checks, and in certain situations, there could be a work from home opportunity. We're looking for people to apply by February 12th, holding some interviews by the end of February, and hopefully starting in the office by March 22nd to kind of get all the training in place and up to speed before we start our services. All employees are subject to a background check and reference check, and you will receive uniforms. Next slide. And just a quick riddle. I want to throw it out there. I know you guys are not talking back, but if you take a look at that real quick, if you know who that guy is, that's Mo on the top left. And the guy on the top right is skiing, and the bottom left is a toe, and on the bottom right is a cup of coffee, otherwise known as Joe. So you put those all together and you have Mosquito Joe.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Joe. And again, I just want to reiterate, if any of the folks on the call today do have any questions for any of the presenters, please feel free to enter those into the chat and we will get those answered for you during the Q&A session that will be after all employers have presented. Next up, we have Ashley with HSHS. Ashley, are you available to present?
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Daniel and Don and David and all those who were able to put this on. I appreciate being able to be here this morning. So today I'm going to be talking about Hospital Sisters Health System. If you want to go to the next slide, please. So about HSHS, we have 15 hospitals throughout Illinois and Wisconsin. With over 200 clinics. That would be our medical group facilities that you may have seen in your town. We have over 13,000 colleagues. We're patient focused and also faith-based. Next slide. Here's a little bit of a map just so you have a better idea of the regions and areas that we cover. So you may be familiar with our hospitals down in this area, such as O'Fallon, Highland, Breeze, Greenville. And then, like I said, our medical groups that are also in this area. Just last year, we opened up a new medical group facility in Troy. So we make up the central and southern part of Illinois and eastern and western portions of Wisconsin. Next slide. So briefly, I just want to go over our core values and missions. This is something that HSHS takes to heart, and we like our employees to embody this. And our core values is something that is heavily talked about in the interview process. So those are respect, care, competence, and joy. And then our mission is to reveal and embody Christ's healing love for all people through our high quality Franciscan healthcare ministry. Next slide. As far as the application process goes, we have a pretty easy apply system. So our website is listed here, just careers.hshs.org. There's multiple ways that you can search to find opportunities that best fit you. You can search by location, looking at a specific hospital. You could search by the type of career you're looking for. So if that's medical assistant, respiratory, things along those lines. There's also a search bar that you can type in and just see all those jobs, no matter the area. Next slide. So like I said, it's an easy apply system. If you're on there for the very first time, all you have to do is create a new account. You'll find the job you're looking for, looking to apply to, hit the apply now. It's going to take you through a pretty simple process of setting up an account and filling in all of your information. And then if you come back the next day and want to apply for more jobs, there's a returning applicant login. All you have to do is just put in that information you just created the other day as far as your login goes, but everything else will be saved, such as if you uploaded a resume or the previous application that you filled out will be saved in there. So it makes it even easier to apply for jobs that you have already, once you've created that account, it's even easier to apply for jobs. Next slide, please. And then some tips and what I'm here for that I can help. So it's best to apply on a computer using Google Chrome, especially the first time using a computer, to make sure that you fill in everything that's needed and entering all the information. That greatly helps us as recruiters when we look through it. And then also, that resume, it's best to be uploaded as a PDF. That just helps on our end when we download it and go to print it off or view it. But then also, I am available to help anyone who might need any help as they go through trying to apply for a position. If you're navigating our site and not exactly finding what you're looking for, I am always available to try to help guide and show and find the job that you're looking for. Next slide, please. As far as our interview and hiring process goes, this is a high level overview just to kind of give you a good idea of what to expect. So you submit that application, it is reviewed within 24 to 48 hours. If they want to move forward, a phone screen will happen from there. If a phone screen goes good and they want to set up an interview, then that is set up, and also a reference check is initiated at that time as well. Right now, interviews, we're still having some virtual, but some are also in person. It just depends on the location, the manager's preference, things like that. And then most of the time we end up just having one interview, but depending on the level of the position and how many hiring managers are involved, sometimes a second interview does happen from there. But after that interview round, if they want to move forward, an offer is going to be extended. Once that's accepted, then you move into our pre-boarding phase, where we have an occupational health appointment, mainly consists of doing a drug screen. We have a standard background check, new hire paperwork, and then orientation that is a day-long orientation about HSHS and getting you ready with all of the information you need. Next slide. I also wanted to just talk briefly on our talent network. So if you are on our website and you don't happen to see a job that you are looking for or interested in, you can join the talent network. Pretty simple, just filling in your information and what your preferences are, such as location or what types of jobs you're looking for. And you'll get email alerts when those new jobs get posted that match your preferences that you filled in. And also our recruiters do work on the back end as well to pipeline candidates. So if you were to interview for one position and happen to not get that role, but the recruiters thought you were very good, but might be a better fit someplace else in the company, they can put you in a pipeline on their end. And when that new position opens up, they think you'd be a better fit for it, they can reach out from there. Next slide. So some of our current openings, I do want to say our openings are changing on a weekly basis. New positions get added, and but the main ones that we seem to have a high demand for are our housekeeping, our EVS staff, also the food and nutrition staff. Both of those positions don't require a high school diploma or a GED and require little to no experience. So those are our entry-level positions that are great for anybody who wants to get in. You're able to move up within those roles, or also if you were just wanting to get your foot in at the hospital and move around to something different, these are great ways to do that. We're always looking for CNAs. We have several openings on our ICU and float pool. We're looking for registrars as well. That's the front people that interact with patients as they come in, get them registered and set up and directed to wherever they need to go for their appointment that day. Our medical group facilities are always looking for medical assistants. And then we always have RN openings as well on multiple different units. Next slide. And then as far as benefits go, our colleagues become eligible when you are scheduled to work a minimum of 16 hours per week. So even our part-time colleagues are eligible for our benefits. You can view all of our benefits through our career page as well. Next slide. So I just want to highlight, we have all of the standard benefits as well as a retirement 403B with a match. We also have a pension plan. Everything is a pick and choose plan, so you don't have to enroll in the health plan in order to have dental or vision. It's whatever is best suited for you. You can pick and choose. Next slide. And then we have more of our benefits, and these are kind of the extra benefits like education assistance. So if you're wanting to further your career and grow in different areas, we're able to offer money to our colleagues as they go back to school. We also have adoption assistance, bereavement leave. We have an EAP, a great Live Well program that's encouraging you to live a healthier lifestyle and be able to get money back on your check per pay period by participating in that plan. Next slide. And then as well, more benefits that we have a great discount program that offers discounts on local things as well as regional and national. And then we have service and retiree recognition and benefits as well. Next slide. So that is it. Thank you for listening to me today. My email is listed here. If you're interested in HSHS or you get on and apply for a position, feel free to email me and let me know, and I can go in there and check your application and give you any tips or help that you might need when applying to HSHS. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Ashley. And again, if you have any questions for Ashley regarding employment with HSHS, please feel free to enter those questions into the chat and we will get those answered for you during the Q&A portion. Next up, we have David with Padgett Building and Remodeling. David, are you available to present, sir?
I am ready. Thank you guys for putting this on. I am going to take a little different approach to this than I'm not only going to talk about our company, but also about our industry as a whole. We're kind of booming right now, and everyone in our industry is extremely busy and needs help. So if you look in the chat, I'm putting my company contact information as well as my email address. And my company specific job postings are on Indeed and Facebook. So a little bit about my company. We were started in 1992. We're based out of Swansea, Illinois. Generally, we focus on residential remodeling projects. That is what our business is mainly built on. We also build 2 to 3 custom homes a year. Sometimes it gets up to 5 to 6. We've never built the same home twice. So it is truly a custom home. We don't develop lots. We don't develop neighborhoods. If you want us to build you a home, we'll build you a completely custom home. And then we also dabble in light commercial work, office remodels, additions, but we're not going to build a skyscraper or anything like that. So everyone in my company, we are all a family, and we are a family business through and through. And so anyone who comes and works with us, that's the type of person I'm looking for. Our main need for Padgett Building and Remodeling right now is a drafter / estimator. So that would be somebody who is familiar with CAD software, also, has some experience actually building things, and that way they could properly estimate projects. Our second biggest need would be another production manager. This person would actually be out working directly with customers, subcontractors. They are taking the contract and the specifications, and they're actually making these projects happen by coordinating with homeowners, with subcontractors, with our carpenters, and they take the job from start to finish. And then we are also looking for a part-time admin assistant. This would be somebody within our office, and we're honestly looking for somebody to make our office just a better, well-running machine. And hopefully this person that we hire can eventually work into an office manager position over the next 5 to 7 years. Our company does have a health plan. It's through the Carpenters Union. So it's actually health, dental, eye care. It's only if you're a full-time employee. And actually, if you come and join us, you actually have to join that health program. The Carpenters Union does not give us the option to pick and choose who gets to be on it and who doesn't. We have a 401k, FSA plan. So that's just some of the benefits of working with our company. So now the industry as a whole, like I said, we're booming. I kind of feel like through the COVID pandemic, if anyone's ever seen that Febreze commercial where people were nose blind to things in their house. That is, I think, what happened to our industry. People were just so nose blind, and then they sat at home, and then all of a sudden, like, holy crap, we got a whole bunch of stuff to do around here. And also, interest rates are low, so new home building is booming as well. So it's the entire industry is looking for help. And so I'd like to just kind of review different careers in the trades and some average salaries, and then just kind of give you guys some resources if you're possibly interested in joining a trade. So go ahead and go to the next slide. So again, I'm part of the Home Builders and Remodelers Association. So that's the information that's on here. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So our Home Builders and Remodelers Association is built up of not only union workers, but also non-union workers. And actually, I would say we're mainly non-union. My company has union carpenters, but we use electricians, plumbers, et cetera, that are non-union. So when I'm going through these trades, I'm actually talking about both sides of this coin. So a carpenter, national average makes $51,120 a year. So anything woodworking, concrete, doors, windows, trim, you're going to work with your hands every day. And so if you're interested in working with your hands, carpentry is a
David, it appears we had a minor technical issue. So if necessary, you may need to log out and log back in.
I'm back hearing you again.
Okay, you're good now. Thank you.
Okay, I'm good now. Okay, go ahead and go to the next slide. Electrical, huge need for electricians. Around $60,000 a year average wage, national average. These are you actually need to be very astute mathematically to become an electrician. So if you have a good math mind, that might be something that you'd be interested in going into. Next one. Masonry. There is no one getting in the masonry industry right now. If you are at all looking for a job, you could get probably hired today to become a mason. I mean, I think they only had 3 or 4 apprentices join this past year, if I remember hearing that correctly, in the masonry union. So it's not easy work, but it is a massive need, and you could probably go get a job today doing that. Next. Painting. Again, it's something that we need: drywall, tape, paint, drywall hangers. It's again, every one of these trades that I'm talking about, there's a massive need for them. Next. Plumbing. Obviously, it's not just cleaning out sewers, and it's also putting in beautiful fixtures in people's homes. We just installed a $7,000 toilet in somebody's house. That plumber had a great time doing that project, because it was a banner project for him. Next. Heating and cooling. I heard that on Express Employment Professionals earlier today. Again, another trade that is massive need of people. Next. Excavating heavy equipment operator. We have our concrete contractor right now so busy that he is literally 10 to 12 weeks booked out right now. And it's just, he cannot find enough people to help him out. And again, it's something that if you enjoy playing in the dirt, you could probably go get a job today. Next. So if you want to join a trade, like I said, there's both a union and non-union route. If you go the union route, you start as an apprentice, and 4 years later, you work through the entire program, and you're actually getting paid to learn. And but you can also go to Rankin or somewhere, a technical college, and also go that route. So that there's different ways to get into the trades, and it just depends on which way you think is right for you. Next. This is just a cost of living index in Illinois for construction workers. And this is one of the things that Illinois actually ranks first in, not last, which is kind of interesting. So we have such a need for good trades people in Illinois that our wage rates are some of the highest in the country in Illinois for people who work in the trades. Next. And then if you're someone who's never been to college or thinking of going and just haven't, like I said, decided trades, you don't have to actually go and get a degree. They'll pay you to learn the trade right out the gate. Next. This is one of my favorite things about what I do every day. I drive down the street and I can literally see something that I did almost everywhere I go. And it is one of the most satisfying parts of my job. But what you do, you actually produce something. Nothing is the exact same for your job every single day. Even every bathroom that I do is different. Even if it's a 5x8 bathroom, there's something different each time. And this job definitely never gets boring from a doing the same thing every day standpoint. Next. Our company, my dad and my uncle started as carpenters, and they built it to where they are today. So you don't have to stick as a carpenter your entire life. Learn the trade, become a production manager for Padgett Building and Remodeling eventually, or a estimator, drafter. So there is a ladder to move up, and it's not that you're just going to be stuck in that specific trade for the rest of your life. There are ways to move up that ladder once you learn the trade, because you're advancing as your knowledge advances through your years of experience. Next. So go to the Home Builders and Remodelers website. If you're interested, there's over 200 companies that are a part of the organization. If you're looking to get into the trades, call. We will help you find companies that are willing to reach out, or that you can reach out to, seeing if they're hiring. Also, if you're just interested and you're scared or just not sure which one, or
David, your audio went out. Shows that you're speaking, but I'm not able to hear you. There you go.
I'm back again. Okay, just to wrap up, there's a free class put on by the Illinois Department of Transportation. If you have a driver's license, I'm pretty sure that's the requirement. It will be a college class that will review every trade, carpentry, plumbing, electric, in a semester. And contact me if you're interested in exploring, because you're just not sure which one you want to join. I can get you in contact with one of the professors or
David, your audio went out again. Sorry about that. Okay, looks like you've gone ahead and muted yourself, so I believe we can go ahead and move to our next employer. I just want to thank David again for that presentation, and if you do have any questions for David regarding employment in the trades, or more specifically at Padgett Building and Remodeling, please feel free to enter those questions into the chat, and we'll get those answered for you during Q&A. Next up, we have Chestnut Health System. Rebecca, are you available to present?
Yes. So my name is Rebecca Forsyth, and I am with the HR department at Chestnut Health Systems. And we provide substance use treatment, mental health, and primary care throughout the central and southern Illinois areas. So here in southern Illinois, our main offices are located in Granite City, Belleville, and Maryville. And we also have some different housing sites scattered throughout the area. So this here is just a little blurb about our organization. And next slide, please. Our mission is to make a difference by improving quality of life through excellence in service. And our vision is that we will be a leader in the development and delivery of superior health and human services. We value our clients, our employees, quality and innovation, strategic growth and expansion, communication, collaboration, and integrated care. And in addition to that, we also have our recovery values. We believe that recovery is possible for everyone, and it is a process that is strengthened through 5 essential values. And those are hope, empowerment, health and wellness, respect, and you're not able to see the last one, but it is spirituality and connectedness. And so you might be asking, what does Chestnut do? So we provide treatment for addictions, mental health services like counseling, primary health care, credit counseling. We also have our housing program, and we provide prevention services. So next slide. So as I go through some of our current openings, I tried to pick some of our areas where we tend to have a lot of openings. We have openings throughout the organization, over 100 throughout the state of Illinois. So if you don't see anything here today that interests you, we do have several others that might interest you. I just tried to pick some of the bigger groups. And we have part-time, full-time, and part-time as needed positions available. Positions open throughout all of our locations. So, maybe you are set on working in Belleville. We definitely have positions open in Belleville. And you'll notice as I go through the responsibilities and qualifications for our roles, there are a lot of similarities across programs. So you might be doing the same work in one area that somebody else is doing in a different program, but you might be providing services to a different type of client, or be working in a different setting. So within our housing program, we have mental health services providers and housing administration specialists, and they would be providing services to our clients in the housing program. And people come into that program for a variety of reasons. It could be because of addiction, mental health, homelessness. A lot of different things bring clients into our services. And so with those mental health services providers, they could be providing trauma-informed care, referrals to community resources, treatment, recovery, and safety planning, different things like that. With the housing administration specialists, they would be handling more the administrative side of the program. So overseeing things like client move-ins and move-outs and managing the property, kind of like a landlord might. With both of these positions, we have shifts available throughout the day, throughout the week. They are 24/7 programs. So, maybe you already have a full-time job Monday through Friday, but you have some time available on the weekends. This would definitely work in your schedule. For both of these positions, the minimum requirements is that you would have at least a high school diploma or equivalent and 5 years of supervised mental health experience. And something also with our positions, is that if you do have more experience or more education, you could be hired in at a higher level. I've just listed the qualifications for a level 1, but if you did have more education and experience, you might be hired in at a level 2, 3, or 4, and then you would have a few more responsibilities, and you'd also be eligible for more pay. So just something to keep in mind as I go through some of these positions. And again, our housing programs are located throughout the Southern Illinois area. So next slide, please. We also have openings in our crisis residential unit. So clients come into this program because they might be in crisis or they need to detox. And we have different types of recovery specialists who work in this area, and they provide similar services as the mental health services providers, but they would be in a little bit different setting. The crisis residential unit is located at our Granite City office. And again, this role, those minimum requirements would be at least a high school diploma or equivalent and 5 years supervised mental health experience. And again, we have different levels available. So if you have more education and experience, you could be hired in at a higher level. Next slide, please. We also have different types of counseling programs. We have 2 substance abuse treatment programs, one for adults and one for youth. The adult program is based out of the Granite City office, but you might also be working in the community some as well. The youth program, we actually have a residential facility located in Maryville. And for both of those types of counselors, you would be providing individual and group counseling to clients and their families. The youth counselor has kind of an added responsibility in that you would be helping with the day-to-day tasks around the facility. You might be serving meals, doing different things like that. With both of those positions, we would require at least a high school diploma or equivalent and 5 years experience in the substance abuse field. We also have an outpatient program and a school-based program. With the outpatient program, you'd be providing counseling one-on-one, and that program's based in Granite City. And then the school-based program, you'd be providing that trauma-informed care, referrals, and the treatment, recovery, and safety planning to students in schools. We are based, the last time I knew, we were in 89 different schools in the state of Illinois, but that number has probably gone up since then. And for both of those positions, we would require at least a bachelor's degree and 5 years of supervised mental health experience. Next slide, please. And we also have a lot of nursing positions open. And these positions are located throughout our different locations, throughout different programs. So we have medical assistant openings. So you'd be completing initial client screening, recording vital signs, things like that. That requires at least a high school diploma or equivalent. We also have openings for licensed practical nurses and registered nurses. So you'd be administering medication, providing first aid, acting as a liaison between clients and their healthcare providers. And for this one, you would need a high school diploma or equivalent and an active license, either a licensed practical nurse license or a registered nurse license. And it does have to be active in the state of Illinois. And next slide, please. To apply for any of our positions, you can go to our website, chestnut.org. So on our home screen, under our logo, there's 3 little lines. And if you click on that, it pulls up our menu. So if you click on employment, that'll take you to a page where you can search through our job listings. So you can search by title, category, position type, or location. And I do recommend that if you search by job title, that you try to keep your search generic. Sometimes our titles don't always match what you think they might say or what they should say. So just try to keep that generic so you don't weed anything out that you don't mean to. And if you don't see anything that matches maybe what you're interested in or matches your education or experience, I definitely recommend checking back in a couple weeks. Our job openings are changing all the time. So if you don't see something today, something might come up tomorrow that matches. And once you put in an application, the hiring manager for each position will review all qualified applicants. And if they are interested in talking with you, they will reach out to conduct an initial phone screen or interview. Each hiring manager does it a little different. Some might start with a phone screen, some might just reach out about an interview. Some are doing interviews in person, some are doing them over Zoom. It really varies by the manager. And next slide, please. So a few tips and tricks. Like I said, please keep that job title search generic. And as you fill out your application, you are able to save it and return to it later. That also makes it very easy for you to apply for multiple positions. You don't have to fill out the application every single time. And make sure that you list all of your work experience on your resume and application. I have seen many times where somebody might only list a few jobs on their resume and application. And so it looks like maybe they only have 6 years of experience, and the hiring manager will want to make an offer, and HR has to come back and say, you say that this person has 15 years of experience, but I'm only seeing 6. And then that candidate has to go back in and edit the resume and application at that time to reflect all of the experience. And it can just really slow down that process. And next slide, please. So here's my contact information. Again, my name is Rebecca Forsyth. I listed my email address there as well as my phone number. HR is currently working remotely, so email would be my preferred method of contact. But if you have any issues while you're applying, any questions, anything at all like that, please feel free to reach out, and I would be happy to assist.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Rebecca. And if anyone on the call does have any questions, for Rebecca regarding employment at Chestnut Health, please feel free to enter those questions into the chat, and we'll get those answered for you during the Q&A session. I don't believe we have the Geodis rep on the line, so our next presenter will be Harry with Maryville Pharmacy. Harry, are you available to present?
I am. Thank you for the opportunity.
Give me just one moment here, and I will navigate to your slides. And we can begin whenever
Sure.
you're ready, sir.
So my name is Harry. I am from Maryville Pharmacy, right in the middle of Madison County with Maryville, Illinois. We're located right off of 159 Catty Corner to Bobby's Custard, which I know quite a few of us are very familiar with. And next slide. As far as who we are as a pharmacy, we're an independent and family-owned pharmacy. Not necessarily a Walgreens, a Walmart, or the major retail out there. It is a single store, family-oriented, family-focused kind of environment in which we do our best to take care of patients walking in the door from all walks of life. We serve a lot of patients in a traditional way in which we do traditional pharmacy. So a prescription comes in the door, we analyze and fill it based on different clinical and regulatory references, and then we dispense that to the patient. But it's more than just a lick, stick, pour kind of method, because we also have a lot of specialty services that we offer as a pharmacy. We do compounded personalized medication. So instead of someone writing for a Z-Pack and then we fill a Z-Pack and that's it, if someone has particular allergies or if they need a customized dose, we have the ability to take the active ingredient itself and tailor it specifically to what a patient would need. Whether it's human, dog, cat, we serve them all. We also do medication planning services. We use blister cards and planners to be able to help organize medications for patients to make it a little bit easier for them to take during the day. And that way that helps increase their adherence and overall health outcomes. We also help with planning in what we call MedSync, or medication synchronization. So that way we can try to line up the fills of all their medications to be filled on a single day per month. So that way it makes it easier for people to come in, and especially during these times with COVID, you don't necessarily want to be out that often. We also provide durable medical equipment, so wheelchairs, walkers, rollators, and compressions garments, various kinds of aids like for toilet seat risers, for sock aids, and many different items out on the shelf, or something that we can order usually the next day. And we try to train all of our staff on the different uses and different applications of all those products. We also have a member of our staff who specializes in fitting for those who undergo mastectomy, and be able to fit them for prosthetics or bras or something to help with the symmetry and help a person have a better esteem after going through that process. We also offer so many different other kinds of services, let alone our delivery radius as a pharmacy compared to many of the major retails in our area. So there's a lot that we have as a pharmacy that we can offer our patients, and we are looking for someone who can help us in that pursuit to be able to serve our community. As far as the business itself, a lot of people are familiar with our previous owner, Gary Soretto. He established the pharmacy back in 1976. We had a transition in ownership to our family back in October of 19, and we chose the perfect time to switch over because that was right when the pandemic happened. So we have been doing our best to do what we can to improve the kind of service offerings that we have, as well as what we have inside the store. And there's been a lot of development as a new company within an old company, and there is so much promise and potential that we want to bring to our community as we move forward into the future. Into the next slide. The primary job that we're looking for is a pharmacy technician. It is fairly defined by Illinois law as far as what those requirements have to be. And so that is our mandatory requirements for what we're looking for in our workforce. We're looking for someone with at least a high school diploma or equivalent, and someone who has no history of illicit or prescription drug related crimes in their history. We also would like to have at least 1 to 2 years of retail or healthcare experience. So someone who works as a nurse or someone who works in checking out people. Those experiences tend to lend well into a community pharmacy realm, strictly because there's a major retail component there. We are also looking for someone who can be very helpful with expanding our communication profile. Yo puedo hablar español y busco para alguien que puede hablar español también, pero if you don't, that's not a problem. So it would be also preferred to have someone who is certified, and that means that you've had at least 2 years of experience in a pharmacy, or were able to pass the certification test required to become a certified technician. We're also looking for someone who has that experience as well, and we're looking to pay based on that experience alone. So there's a lot that we have to offer as far as teaching. We have a lot that we can kind of fit someone based on their preferences as far as what we have to serve for our patients. I don't have this on the slide, but I also potentially am looking for someone who is a delivery person. They will still need to be licensed as a pharmacy technician. And if you are not licensed as a pharmacy technician now, we will help you get that licensure. One way or another, whether it's for the technician position or even for a delivery position. We're mainly trying to fill out our team to make sure that we're as adequately prepared as we're moving into the next step of our business. The pharmacy technician position will be a full-time. The delivery person will be part-time. Moving to the next slide. As far as the perks, we're pretty much looking for a full-time day job, 9 to 5 or 9 to 4, whatever your preferences would be, for a full-time Monday through Friday kind of job. We're looking for someone in the morning. There is no need to work any weekends. We have paid major holidays. After a probationary period for our full-time staff, we have health and supplemental insurance. We also do a 401k match. And there's many different areas of specialty, whether you want to focus on compounding, the durable medical equipment, or the long-term care. There are many different ways that you can assist us as we move forward. And there's also various perks that kind of come up throughout that we as an ownership want to do to take care of our family with a PH. Solely because if you take care of us, we will do our best to take care of you. And we want to make sure that it is mutually respectful and mutually beneficial for both parties. I have a very short presentation, but mainly what I'm looking for are staff members who are engaging, who are very retail patient focused, and who really look to the opportunities of a kind of building business as we move into the future. So I have my contact information on the screen. You can reach me at info@Maryville Pharmacy. You can give us a call, just dial option 3 as soon as you hear the music, or you can even stop by. I think Bobby's is closed, so you can't get any custard right now, but you can stop by, maybe go to the coffee box and get some coffee, and then come on by and then pick up an application. As far as the timeline goes, once you drop off or send in an application with your resume, we'll review it over the next couple of days. If we're interested in your application, I will personally reach out and do a phone interview, which is just a brief 15-20 minute just to kind of review your history and various kinds of things that I personally look for in a staff member. And then after I present that to the rest of the ownership, we set up an on-site meeting to be able to talk that over between myself, my sister Catherine, who's the pharmacy manager, and then also get to introduce you to kind of a brief tour of the pharmacy and the other staff members that we have. And then if we're interested in your employment, we'll get you on board and kind of get you all the necessary paperwork behind it. And in either case, if we decide to move to a different direction, we have your application on file, and we'll always be able to reach out to you if you're still interested in the position. Beyond that, we're really accessible. Unfortunately, this isn't a job that we can do remotely. This is something that a lot of our patients respect, for having our lobby open and having a person to meet and talk to and face to be able to kind of deal with whatever health issues they may be going through. And so you're always welcome to stop on by, meet us, have any questions, talk with us, whatever it may be. So that's my spiel. If you have any questions, definitely reach out. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Harry. If anyone has any questions for Harry regarding employment at Maryville Pharmacy, you can enter those questions into the chat and we'll get them answered for you during the Q&A session that will be taking place now. So as we kind of transition into the Q&A session, I just want to give kind of a brief overview of what that process will look like for both job seeker and employer alike. I will first obviously look to the chat section to see if we've had any job seeker questions. I will pose those directly to you. In the event that we do not have any additional questions in that chat section, I have just a standardized list of general questions that I typically ask during a lot of the events that I host. So how that will work is I will pose the question and we'll work sequentially through the order of presentation today. So we'll start with Express Employment, move to Mosquito Joe, HSHS, Padgett, Chestnut Health, and then Maryville Pharmacy. And we'll repeat that process for the amount of time that we have allotted. So taking a look at the chat section here today, I do believe that Mosquito Joe was able to answer the question in the chat that the individual posed regarding remote positions. With that in mind, I guess we can go ahead and pose that question to the other employers that are still on the call. So we'll start with Express Employment. Nate Smith, do you have any remote positions available from the positions that you covered today? And Nate, I don't know if you're still on the line. Perhaps you temporarily walked away. That's okay. We can circle back. Next would be HSHS. Ashley, do you have any remote positions that you're hiring for?
We don't have any remote positions at this time. We're in the process of a few positions doing a hybrid schedule, but those are only a small amount of positions. Otherwise, everything is in person.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Ashley. And David with Padgett Building, are you available to answer that question, sir?
I'm here. No, we don't have any remote positions either. Our industry is just so hands-on. It may not be in our office, but you'll probably be at somebody's house.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. And Rebecca with Chestnut Health, do you have any remote positions available?
Of the ones that I discussed today, most of those would be in the office working. Some of the outpatient counselor positions might be working remotely or doing a hybrid. We do have some remote positions. I just didn't discuss those today, but if they are remote, it would say so in the job posting on our website.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rebecca. And I believe I know the answer to Maryville Pharmacy, but nonetheless, Harry, I'll give you an opportunity to answer that question as well.
Unfortunately, at this moment, we don't have any remote opportunities. Like I mentioned, we just have a large part of our population that really appreciates that face-to-face interaction. So we maintain that our pharmacy remain open.
Fantastic. Thank you for that response, sir. And it looks like we do have Nate back. Nate, the question that was posed is, do you have any remote options available from the positions that you covered here today?
Yes, we have one position. Once you are trained, you do have to go into the company's office for training for, I think, a week or two. But once you are trained, you are then eligible to potentially work from home. It's a part-time data entry position, and that's out of our Fairview Heights office. The main contact for that position would be Michelle Summers, for anyone that's interested in that. But yes, that'd be the one thing we do have.
Awesome. Thank you, Nate.
Welcome.
And so for the sake of time, I believe we have 10 minutes or so approximately left in this session here. I just kind of want to delve into questions that will be particularly applicable to the job seekers who are still on the call. So again, we'll start with Express Employment. We'll work our way through the list sequentially. Question that I have for you is, how can a candidate stand out and get an interview, assuming they are qualified for the position they're applying for? Is there anything that you would suggest a applicant highlight, let's say in their resume, application, so on and so forth?
I mean, basically, we're looking to see what an individual's skill sets are and see how those match up to our clients. So any information they can give us as far as the skill sets, if we're talking on industrial, the equipment they've used, or if we're talking on the admin office side, the software they know, those sort of things are going to help us assess which clients those individuals would match up with, in addition to just any type of chronological list of jobs, but just their skill sets, programs, and equipment they know would definitely help out.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nate. And I don't know if you've been monitoring the chat section, but it appears that there was a question, I think, posed to you regarding the remote position that you just referenced. So I don't know if you can provide a link for that individual.
I'm going through the chat section now. Yep, I'll get that in just a second here.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. The next employer that we have would be Mosquito Joe, JP. Can you answer that question? How could a candidate stand out and get an interview with your organization?
Very similar to what you just heard. We're going to be looking at resumes to understand skill sets. We're looking for certain attributes. When it comes to the office positions, we're obviously looking for someone who knows how to navigate around an office, maybe 1 to 2 years experience there. Someone that's a little bit more organized, proactive in trying to figure things out. There's a lot of analysis that happens, throughout the day that requires someone to have retention of that and be able to utilize that information to make decisions. So that would be one. And then the only thing I would say, also for the field employees, those can be really anyone. We take anyone, general laborers I'd like to throw out there. We're really trying to offer up an opportunity for someone to learn a trade and get some experience in pest control and be able to go forward. But beyond that, for either position, we would be doing remote interviews if that is more comfortable for those candidates. But we would definitely have a series of questions that should draw out whether or not they have the skill sets we're looking for, and if they're good for, going to be probably good for our culture. So.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Next would be HSHS. Ashley, can you answer that question as well?
Yeah, so my tips would be just to job seekers to clearly read through all of our job postings in the job description. A lot of our positions, because of their technical base, are going to require different certifications. So just making sure you match up and have all of those, and then clearly stating that you have that required certification on your resume or on your application somewhere, because that is something that if recruiters aren't able to figure out just by looking at your resume or previous job experience, if you have that necessary certification, you're not going to be moved forward in the process. And if you're a recent graduate or someone who just recently obtained that certification or is in the process of getting it, you can state that on your resume or application somewhere so that we're aware that you're in the process or will be getting it soon or just got it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ashley. And David with Padgett Building, can you answer that question as well, sir?
Yeah, by drafter position, you're definitely need some sort of CAD experience. Doesn't necessarily
Looks like you froze up, sir. And just an FYI, if you're using the microphone on your laptop, a lot of times what can kind of mess with the audio is if there's a lot of movement that you've got going on in the computer. So you may want to kind of watch that as you're speaking, sir.
Gotcha. Maybe that's why I move a lot.
No worries.
So the production manager position, you're going to need some sort of construction experience. And then the admin assistant, we're looking for somebody who's organized and can help keep our office organized. That's the best I got.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. And Chestnut Health, Rebecca, would you be able to answer that question as well, please?
Yes, so like I discussed in the presentation, just making sure that you list out all of your education and experience. That can really put you over the top if you have, that 15 years of experience compared to maybe somebody who has 5. Just really making sure that you detail all of that out for us.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rebecca. And Maryville Pharmacy, Harry, would you be able to answer that question, sir?
Sure can. What I personally prefer would be someone with experience, someone with pharmacy experience, especially in a community setting. However, that will not preclude you from applying to our position. What I really value, especially with COVID and everybody being stressed out on a patient setting, is someone who can handle that stress and not take it personally. And that's why I like having a one-to-one meeting with people, solely just to get that understanding from the person that in someone's really darkest time, that they can personally help that patient. And everything else around it, the licensure, the training, all of that, we can personally help, but I cannot train someone to handle stress in the ways that we're especially dealing with now.
Fantastic. Thank you for that response, Harry. And I just do want to kind of reiterate and remind all of the job seekers that are still on the call, if you do have any direct questions that you would like to ask any of the employer reps or all of the employer reps, please feel free to enter those into the chat and we'll get those answered for you. Taking a look at the time here, looks like we'll probably have enough for about one more question. So what I would like to ask is, how long does your hiring process typically take from the point of submitting an application to actually being hired? How long does that process typically take for your organization? Nate with Express Employment, can you answer that question, sir?
Yes, that can be as easy as the same day if I get you on the phone fast enough and you're able to come in later that afternoon. But typically we have kind of a two-step process between the initial phone interview and then coming into our office to complete the documents and then discuss going out on an assignment. So it could be the same day, it could be the next day. It kind of depends on how quickly we get in touch with the individual and what their availability is to make it into the office.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. And James from Mosquito Joe, can you answer that question, sir?
Yeah, so for our CSR position, since we are a seasonal business, as I mentioned, we're, our operational time frame is from April to October. As mentioned in my presentation, we would be looking to bring someone on in that role around March 22nd. It could be a little earlier than that. So we want to make sure that during the interview process that we're, looking at all the candidates applying to make sure we have the right one in there. From the pest treatment specialist perspective, that can be a same day hire, not necessarily bringing them on, for the part-time work, but because this job requires a license, it will provide us an opportunity to get with them, to explain everything, get them enrolled in an online clinic, and then be able to take that exam. So once they take that exam and they have their license, we could easily bring them on in the month of March in preparation for April.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. And Ashley with HSHS.
I would say our process can take about 2 to 3 weeks, just depending on when that offer is accepted and when the next orientation is going to be set up. But our occupational health is pretty good about getting people in quickly, and our pre-boarding helps to tell everybody the timeline of what they need to do and how quickly they need to do it. So I would say about 2 to 3 weeks.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. And David with Padgett Building, can you answer that question, sir?
Yes, our drafter, it would be the first person that we find that has the experience, and we feel like would be a good fit with the company. So as soon as possible. And then production manager, probably by the end of February, by the way our lead process is going. And then the admin assistant as well would be
Looks like you cut out a little bit there at the end, David. If you want to, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I wasn't even moving that time. So what was the last thing you heard?
I think you're getting ready to cover that admin position.
The admin would just be over the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Rebecca with Chestnut Health, can you answer that question as well, please?
So for Chestnut, it does vary by the department and by the role because so much of the process is handled by the hiring manager. For a lot of the positions that I went over this morning, I would say the process could be as short as 2 weeks. It might take a little bit longer than that, just depending. The nursing positions might take a little bit longer. That could be 3 or 4 weeks. but it really does vary by the department.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rebecca. And then Maryville Pharmacy, can you answer that question, please?
Sure thing. I put on myself that I want a 7 to 10 day minimum for reviewing applications. Even if there's an applicant who I'm extremely excited about, what I value more is retention, solely because even if I have someone without experience, it's going to take a lot of time to put into a person to make sure that this will be someone that I can have way into the future. And so I wanted to make sure at least that we have enough time that this is the job for you and you are the applicant for us.
Fantastic. Thank you, Harry. And that will conclude our Q&A portion of the event. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and kind of turn over things to my colleague, David Garvey from workNet. He's just going to briefly go over the Get Hired Illinois webpage and resources that are available to job seekers. After that, he will go ahead and kind of conduct the wrap up. And Dawn, at that point, you'll also have an opportunity to just give a few concluding remarks as well. David?
Thank you, Daniel. So as Daniel had mentioned, I've just shared the URL to this. I wanted to go over the Get Hired website on Illinois that Illinois has. So Get Hired is a web portal that's been designed to connect workers with available job and career training opportunities across the state. And this page is accessible by that link in the chat there I shared, illinois.gov/get-hired. And so just kind of going through some of these buttons, this job seekers, click here. This will take you to Illinois job link. And this landing page, job seekers can search for job postings through this site. Virtual job fairs here, that'll take us, if you click that, that'll take you on Illinois WorkNet's website to the virtual job fair tool. And job seekers can find which employers in Illinois are hiring by looking at their employer booth page. You can also view upcoming events by accessing this VJF events button. If you click that, you can see other upcoming virtual job fairs that you may register for. And then going back to Get Hired, this online training opportunities, this will take you to another page on WorkNet for our training quick start guide, just to kind of give you a sense of the opportunities and options that are out there, from community colleges to WIO approved training programs, other public and private programs, and apprenticeship opportunities. And below these buttons here, job seekers may apply for unemployment insurance and access additional resources through this page. And I do want to let you all know, as another reminder, that today's session is being recorded and will be made available on the employer booth pages in our virtual job fair area for each of the employers who presented today. And with that, I will turn it over to Dawn for any final remarks. Dawn?
David and Daniel, great job today, and fantastic job, all the presentations, everyone well prepared. And just a reminder to make sure that you utilize your portal to put your job openings in there. I go in then and approve it. I do always have a list of people looking for jobs and jobs looking for people. In many cases, sometimes the employer doesn't want to post it, or the employee doesn't want their employer to know they're looking. So if it's a case where you have a job that you just don't want to post, but you might say, gosh, do you know anyone? We know some people usually, so we can help with that. Thank you again to everyone who participated today. Once we get the recording and we break it down, we will email you the link directly from Vimeo. So thank you guys, everyone. Thank everyone today for everything. And I hope that you have an amazing day.